Welcome to the April 2026 monthly meeting of the Miami Condo Investing Club. This is a virtual meeting that is broadcast live at noon South Florida time on the second Wednesday of every month. A recording of the monthly meeting will be available for on-demand viewing at miamicondo.club. This podcast is hosted by Peter Zalewski, a condo consultant, expert witness, and the founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. The purpose of the monthly meetings is to share real-time, actionable information about the South Florida condo market with club members. If you are not yet a member of the club, we would encourage you to consider joining at miamicondo.club. The club's mission is to foster a community that shares real-time, actionable intelligence on the latest real estate trends, emerging opportunities, and trusted service providers throughout South Florida. Whether you're a do-it-yourself, DIY condo buyer, or a seasoned real estate professional, the club provides invaluable resources, including up-to-date statistics, expert analysis, and access to tailored consulting services. An added benefit of the club is that members receive discounts on all Miami Condo correction walking and bus tours. Please visit miamicondoclub.eventbrite.com. Welcome to the April 2026 monthly virtual meeting.
Welcome to the April 2026 monthly meeting of the Miami Condo Investing Club. I'm Peter Zalewski. I'm a condo consultant, expert witness, founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. I want to start off by thanking everybody for being a member. I also want to welcome you and congratulate you. You're in the final month of the winter buying season, which is going to go from November all the way through to April. We're going to be talking about a whole variety of different things today. We're going to be talking about how some of it is a victory lap. We made a bunch of successful calls for this winter buying season. So anybody who is a member of the Miami Condo Investing Club, if you were listening to our suggestions, our projections, our advice, chances are you're on the right side of the trade. And for all of you who didn't, there's still time to catch up. We're going to have a very interesting summer. Why? Because we've got so many different things in the year. Right now, I should tell you that we are at the peak, the best ever. Well, at least since January 1st, 2025. How do we know that? Because we set up an index on January 1st, 2025. This is the most active time in the condo market in 16 months, if you can actually believe that. So if you're doing well today, that's because the market is humming. If you're not doing so well, that means you need to pivot, you need to adjust, you need to adapt to what the current market is. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to tell you which markets are hot, Palm Beach County, which markets are not, Miami-Dade County, increasingly. We're going to walk through all of it. We're also going to tell you what to sort of anticipate as we get in the summer. We're not going to lay out our base case scenario yet. We're not going to tell you what our call is for the summer. We're going to give you some hints, though. Some things you ought to keep in mind is we're going to have a summer of FIFA World Cup, June, July, matches played in Miami. We're going to have the usual August where everybody bails. They head up to the Hamptons. They go to Europe. They go to Canada. They go to North Carolina, and business is dead. We're also going to sort of allude to the fact that beginning in September, right after Labor Day, what are you running into? You're running into the ramped up marketing campaigns for the midterm elections. A lot of investors, they don't like to pull the trigger until after the elections. So what I guess I'm sort of telling you is if you're a seller, you should have been bold. You got 23 days left until we get into May. And when May comes, we're in the summer buying season. That summer buying season will go through May through October. How do you know it's the summer buying season? Because you got heat, you got humidity, and you also have hurricane warnings. We're getting a precursor as to what summer's going to be because it's raining right now in Miami. It's normally beautiful weather in April. Typically, you get into May, it's still nice. Then June, it starts to rain. July, it really starts to piss down. August, you get all the hurricane warning. Well, we might be pulling that a little bit forward. So keep that in mind as you're out there playing the market. If you were a buyer, this is a great time. There's certain markets you need to be targeting for Broward County. And if you're a seller, you need to scramble that, or you need to buckle down and understand if you don't get somebody on the hook in the next 3 weeks or so, chances are you're going to be riding this thing out through September, possibly even after the elections in November. So that's sort of the reality at the same time that the cost of condo living has gone up because of rising maintenance fees, hefty special assessments, as well as insurance premiums that are very pricey. These are some of the issues involved. Another issue we're sort of dealing with and we're going to get into is mortgage rates. Mortgage rates hit 5.99% on the 27th of February. So you know what we did? We attacked Iran the following day. We set mortgage rates north of 6.5%. Where are they coming in today? somewhere in the 6.4 range. A lot of volatility, a lot of affordability issues. Take a look at gas. Fortunately, I don't have a car. Haven't had a car since 2013. Gas prices are up. Means I'm being impacted, whether it be Amazon, it be deliveries, it be Uber. But all of you who are driving, you guys are really starting to feel the pain of what's associated with this war. Supposedly, we won the war. Supposedly, it's all over. But that being said, after a peace treaty was signed yesterday at the 11th hour, right before President Trump announced he was going to devastate, eliminate an entire civilization in Iran, all of a sudden they pulled it back from the brink. They reached some sort of peace settlement or a ceasefire. And what happened today? Well, the Iranians are shutting down the Straits of Hormuz once again. So all kind of volatility, all kinds of questions. And what happens when there's questions? What happens when there's lack of visibility? People sit on the sidelines and wait. That is the worst thing if you're a seller. And if you're a buyer, that makes you basically the prom queen. Everybody wants to basically get to know you. Why? Because you might actually be willing to buy at a time when everybody else is sitting on the sidelines, not being able to anticipate what's going on. So these are some of the issues we're going to talk about. I got an hour with you, roughly. We respect all of your time. If any of you need to leave early, feel free to do so. We're going to have a on-demand version of this podcast, or this monthly meeting, I should say. It'll be available to you by Friday. I'm shooting to get it up today, but I don't want to make any promises. But by Friday, you will have a copy of this. You can go back and you can listen to it. We're going to show you all kinds of charts. We're going to reveal all kinds of statistics. And I should also tell you, I sent you all a link in that email. If you go to that link and you look up that email, what you're going to be able to do is basically get your hands on all the supplemental information. It's extensive supplemental information. It'll deal with what's going on with our South Florida Condo Association Financial Clip Index, both on the overall market as well as on the vintage side. What's vintage? That's those condos that are at least 30 years old or older. Those are the ones under greater scrutiny because of what happened nearly 5 years ago. That's when you had the Champlain Tower South collapse. That was that tragedy up in Surfside. Nearly 100 people died. $1 billion settlement was paid out to the families of victims. The insurance industry then changed the legislation. The legislature changed the legislation, and what they did is they bring in transparency to the market. They're bringing transparency in the form of how the boards operate. They're also bringing transparency, so they say, to the way that the buildings are inspected and the information that's shared with everybody. And as a result of that, what is now required is mandatory capital reserves be set aside based on studies that are being done by licensed architects, licensed engineers. These studies, a part of them, they come up with a shelf life of all the crucial or important structural aspects related to life safety. Because of the inspection, because of the lifespan, they also attach a dollar amount. What's it going to cost to fix? They then take the report, remember, licensed architect, licensed engineer, they throw it on the desk of the Condo Association. Condo Association has now got to start to fund what's been identified by the experts. They can do it with a special assessment, or they can go ahead and do it with a bank loan. What's a bank loan going to cost you? North of 9%. 9%. That's expensive money. Or simply hit everybody up with a special assessment. But problem is you typically get a year to pay, which is basically pushing people to the brink because of affordability and everything else that's going on in this marketplace. These are some of the issues that we're faced with. So during this hour, we'll get into that, but let me tell you sort of our rules of engagement, and let me share my screen so you guys get a sense of what is going to be coming down the pike. We're going to give you our agenda. We're going to give you our numbers. We're going to give you basically all kinds of insight. So I'm just pulling that up so we can all see it, and then we will proceed forward. There we go. Look at that beautiful guy. What a good-looking guy. I've always been told I have a face for radio. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about the final month of the winter buying season. Remember, November through April. We're wrapping it up this month. We're also going to talk about the distressed condo market. We're going to give you insight as to what's going on. Bank-owned condos as well as short sales. We'll get into all of it. We'll lay out the detail. We're not giving you Chamber of Commerce talk. This is not a sell-side type of organization. This is an organization that lays the information out, believes in transparency, and with transparency, you always have a market. Doesn't matter what the headlines are. If you have transparency, people can do things. When you withhold information, then you get a situation like we have with the condo market where some information is available, it's not available. Is the board going to share it? Are they not going to share it? These are big decisions. Remember, everybody, you make your money on the buy. If you don't have the right information going in, you could end up getting crushed. Like I would suspect a lot of these buyers who came in 2021, 2022, 2023, when we were coming out of the pandemic, they were told they could work from home. They were told they didn't have to wear masks. And Miami Beach said you can twerk on a police car. So they all came flooding in. And you know what happened? Many of them outbid others to overpay for condos. Now those people have gotten called back. Wall Street, Silicon Valley. They're trying to rent out their units. You know what's happening? Nothing. They're not able to cover their costs. Some of these people are sort of heading for the exit. And what they're realizing is they head to the exits, there's no buyers for them. And we're going to get into it, we announced yesterday 400 listings came off the board within the last week. As of yesterday, 400, about 1.5% or so of the overall supply came off the market. So you say, well, that should be a good thing. Well, the thing is, when looking at it in general, a lot of the listings that came off the board, they were higher price units. They are the units where the sellers are digging in. They're not willing to cut the prices. The ones that are left, they're cutting the prices. The average price per square foot for a condo in South Florida on the market has come down. Again, we'll get into all those details. We're going to get into all of it as we sort of covered. And more importantly, you'll have the information available as part of the supplemental information, that link in which you'll be able to sort of check it out. So let's get into it. We got Fort Lauderdale, we got South Beach, we got Coconut Grove, we got the Gables, we got Sunny Isles Beach, and as well as the index. Let me scroll down as I share the screen. It'll sort of provide a prompt for you and give you something else to look at besides my beautiful face. Let me remind everybody, this Saturday, season finale of our Coral Gables Condo Correction Walking Tour. We got 4 tours left this winter buying season. And then it's over as we get into the summer buying season. The tours will be a little bit more sporadic, a little sporadic. So what do we got? We got Coral Gables this Saturday, starts at 10 o'clock, goes to 1 o'clock. We're going to walk roughly about 4 miles. I give you a list of all the condos that exist in Coral Gables. We'll teach you how to analyze condo buildings. We'll give you some tips on how it works. We'll help you to identify what's an opportunity, what is a value trap, or in real estate terms, what's a money pit. We're going to be able to help you to identify that looking at the data, because what we say is, you look for a building, you find a building that makes sense, then you focus on the unit. Too many of you are going out there chasing units. You got this unit, you got that unit, this unit. And what happens? You get it under contract, you get the condo docs, you get the information, you say, it's not going to work for me. And what is the end result of that? You wasted a lot of time. No, flip it. Find the buildings that make sense. Play condo Tinder. Swipe left on everything, and those that you swipe right on that are worth doing due diligence, you spend the time on them, then you get into it. Now you're operating much more efficiently. You're not operating like an emotional type of buyer. You're operating almost as if you're an investment banker. That's what we would recommend you do. So if you are a buyer, you're a DIYer, you're trying to go at it alone, that's the way you do it. Do your due diligence. If you're a listing agent, you need to understand what the pricing is, the real pricing, because if you don't understand the pricing, that's why you're sitting on the market. That's why your listing is getting cut or eliminated or not renewed. Remember, 400 units have been eliminated within the last week from the marketplace. And again, we'll get into some of the details, but these are some of the overarching themes that are out there in the marketplace. So this Saturday, season finale for Coral Gables Condo Correction Walking Tour. If you guys want information, you want to buy tickets, go to the ticket broker, which is Eventbrite. Go to miamicondoclub.eventbrite.com. That's where you can get it. You can also see the rest of our schedule that's happening. Continuing on, everybody, if you don't know, every weekday at 4 o'clock, I do a live podcast. I do it Mondays. I do Miami Condo Mondays. I do that with my partner, Jenny Huertas from CVR Realty. Make sure you check out our website, cvrrealty.com. On Tuesdays, I do the Miami Condo Exchange. That's going to be the statistical analysis of what's going on in the condo market. Wednesday, I do the Peter Zalewski Show, in which I do a one-on-one interview, somebody I think you need to know. Thursdays, distress. We talk about the distressed condo market on Thursdays and wrap it up with a bull versus bear on Fridays with a program called Buy, Sell, Hold Miami. I do with Daniel Hernandez over at Compass Real Estate. We pick 5 topics. We get into it and we tell you what is our take on it, and we interpret it from a local's perspective. If you guys ever want to watch the podcast, miamicondo.club, you'll be able to see it live streaming. So let me continue on down my little chart here. And this is a shout out to the listing agents. If you're getting rosy information from your broker, if everybody in the industry is telling you how things are happening, but yeah, you're not seeing it on the ground, you might not have the best information. So we would encourage you, come on out, join the club. This is a club that's open to everybody. Doesn't matter if you're a DIY buyer, a buyer with a broker, a listing agent, a lender. Some of you lenders, you got to figure out what the hell's going on in this marketplace, especially in a market where one financier told me, if you want to get financing on a condo, they need 70% deposit. Think about that, 70 deposit. They're going to finance 30%. What the heck good is that? Why? Because there's so much uncertainty with these condos. So much uncertainty with all of it. This is the type of information that we would argue is market moving. It is actionable, real-time information. So if you are on the listing side, I would suggest that you check it out. Lender, check it out. Regulator, if you're any regulators out there, you want to know what's going on in the market, come on down. We've taken regulators on our tours before. They're always looking for information. Why? Because we're in the trenches. We're running the numbers. We're not simply taking somebody else's stuff and reposting it. We're spending the time. And what we do after we spend the time doing it, we do our podcast, 4 o'clock weekdays, MiamiCondo.club. And also, too, Gadflies. We love Gadflies. Come on over. Thick skin. If you don't agree with me, you disagree with me, I want to hear it. I'm not going to be bothered. This is all about a debate. It's all about the information that's out there in the marketplace. In fact, last week, I did an event with the South Florida Business Journal. They called me in. I did this event. I went up against 3 developers and 1 listing broker, and there were 5 of us. 5 of us, we did it up in Miramar. Story be coming out later this month in April, sort of laying it all out, whose perspective was what. Let me tell you what, I was on the Bears side, and guess what happened a couple days later? Mercedes-Benz, you know that condo building off of Brickell Avenue? The Mercedes-Benz project, according to the South Florida Business Journal, they are in foreclosure, $80 million foreclosure on that project, which I called a C-minus site. I also mentioned at the time a few years back, I thought that site was more appropriate for Volkswagen rather than Mercedes-Benz. And here we are in foreclosure at this point. So interesting information drives everything. Let's continue on. And you got the Miami Condo Investor Club. Thank you, everybody, for being a member. Much appreciated. We hope we're giving you great information. We strive to get you great information. We want to give you something that you can actually move upon and they help to broaden your overall perspective. You might not necessarily agree with me on stuff, but you're probably getting a great insight as to how investors, Wall Street types, are looking at this market. And trust me, they're getting lined up because they see opportunity. They know prices are coming down and they want to move in on it. So you're getting that glimpse into the other side if you're on the listing side. So let's get into some of our preferred vendors. If any of you are DIYers, maybe you're brokers, listing brokers, whatever, you're looking for somebody to sort of help you get through the process. Always go to 3 people, but let me give you one of each, and then you guys can add your others to these people. If you do go to any of these vendors, suggest that you came there as a result of the Miami Condo Investing Club. Why? So they treat you like family. We'll start off with title. We got Clarita Rosa, Candor Title and Closing Services. Known Clarita a long time. She's been doing it a long time. Straightforward, knows how to get the deal done. So check out Candor Title and Closing and ask for Clarita and or Jonathan. Those are 2 people that you're absolutely going to love, and they're going to take care of you. Maybe some of you were doing some work and you got jammed up. Maybe you didn't pull the permits. Maybe you got a red tag. Maybe you got a piece of dirt and you want to turn around and you want to try to zone it so you can sell it for more than the place is actually worth to some developer who sees the dream and has a dream for what they can do with that property. Call Ann Christine Carey. She's over at Miami21Zoning.com. Miami21Zoning.com. Ann Christine Carey help you with anything related to permits and entitlements and anything related to land. Many of you will turn around, you call an attorney. Well, let me tell you what, the attorneys call her to do the work because she's a specialist in that. Attorneys are great in the courtroom. They're not necessarily good at looking at the land. She's an urban planner. Miami21Zoning.com. Remember, member of the Miami Condo Investing Club. Then we got financing. We got Sergio Aliaga. Sergio is a rock star. He's been a financier for decades. This guy understands the market. This guy knows what's going on. By the way, he used to be a pilot. Therefore, he's got this ability to sort of anticipate things in the future. So check out Sergio. He's over at Union Mortgage. I think the website is unionmtg. Sergio, I'm forgetting what it is. But Union Mortgage, click on the link. You'll be able to get there. Sergio Aliaga, let's continue on. Construction, and if you're looking for a contractor, you want somebody who's going to show up to get the work done and ultimately be able to perform and actually has a good personality. You don't mind talking to them, not so SOB that you dread. Give Kevin Calianis a call. He's got Chaos Construction. He takes the chaos and he makes it simple. Takes the chaos and basically boils it down, makes it simple. Continuing on, we got Jose Suarez. Jose, a global inventory liquidators. Jose buys out companies that are going bad. He buys out lines of furniture or anything else. As designers are getting rid of it, he'll buy it at a discount, put a spread on it, and he'll resell it. So never know what he's going to have, but it's always a good time to check in with Jose. Global Inventory Liquidators, Jose Suarez. And then we're going to get into Casa Linda Tile and Marble. Steve Mussolino, been out in the Doral area since 1970. His father set up the company. He continues to run it. They import tile. They import granite. They got their own warehouse besides the sales center out in the Doral area. So if you guys are looking for tile, you're looking for marble, looking for any kind of those stone finishes or even any kind of finish, whether it be porcelain or anything else, give Steve a call or go see him at Casa Linda Tile. He's just on the other side of the Palmetto in the Doral area. let me continue down my list. Let me remind everybody, winter monthly meetings. This is the final one. We do it always on the second Wednesday of every month. We do it from 12 to 1 o'clock. You guys can see we ran it through, and here we are. We're standing at the end of it. We'll be announcing what our plans are, our schedules are for the summer buying season, which goes from May through October. We don't expect any changes there. Do not expect any changes. We're going to continue on with the second Wednesday of every month, doing it at noon. So look forward to that. We will come up with the updated schedule, though, as we get into May and the summer buying season. Continuing on. Then we have our meetups. This is an opportunity for people to get together, talk shop, discuss what they're up to, share war stories, any and all of the above of that. We try to rotate it because we have members all over Tri-County area. In fact, all over the world. I don't actually know where everybody's at. It all goes through Substack. Substack takes it. They just sort of notify me, but I don't have any details. So what we do is we do a round robin. We rotate. We go to a different area, and we invite you to come out and talk out. Come out and talk shop. No set agenda. You're always welcome. It's typically discounted prices on drinks, on food. Like I said, no agenda. We'll just sit around and talk about whatever it is. Our next one and our final one of the winter buying season is going to be in Hallandale Beach. We're doing it up at Federal Highway, which is Biscayne Boulevard and Dade, Federal Highway and Hallandale Beach Boulevard. We're doing it upper deck, so everybody's welcome to come join us, come shake pitch your services, network, hear war stories, any and all above that goes from 6 to 8 o'clock. Upper deck, Hallandale Beach Boulevard and Federal Highway. We'll continue on now. And here's our agenda really quickly. We just hit the preferred service providers. I've already told you about the podcast. We can skip over that. We got our tours. Remember, 4 tours left in the winter buying season. As we get into summer, they'll be a little bit more sporadic. Then we have our meetup. It'll be on the 14th, which is next Tuesday. Getting our indicators. Now we're going to get into the other details. Okay, so I'm 20 minutes into it. I got 40 minutes to cover a lot of terrain. I'm going to be telling you stories. I'm going to be showing you charts. And I want you all to sort of sit back and listen. Don't worry about looking at all the particular details. Listen to the overall theme. Listen to the story and understand you all have access to all of this information because you're a club member. You're going to see all of these charts. You can pull all the numbers. You can download them. You do whatever you want with because that's one of the benefits of being a club member. So let me just go ahead and begin telling my story and kind of laying out kind of where we are. And probably the best place to start, well, let me show you these podcasts really quick. We got our little tour schedule. You guys can see we do the tours. This is what we got left. We got the 11th is the Gables. The following week, we're doing Brickell Avenue area. If you guys want to see the site where the Mercedes-Benz condo project was supposed to go up, now it's in foreclosure. We'll see how it plays out. We're going to walk past it, so we'll be doing that.